Brianna, here on Highway 223 at Highway 58, already crews are working hard to make sure that all our communities are safe out here. We're right here in Kern, and already you can see behind me that they're planning to fight fire with fire. Crews are lining up, getting ready to actually make flames happen in front of us. The whole point of this is to create a prescribed burn. It will get rid of the vegetation that has dried up, like trees and grass, and that'll help make sure that there's no fuel for that fire, those wildfires that come out later in the season when things start to heat up. So to explain all of this, I have with us today Andrew Freeborn from the Kern County Fire Department. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Of course, it's great to have an expert like you to explain this to us. It is the hottest day of the year so far, and you were telling me it's very intentional to have a prescribed burn on a hot day like this. Why was that?
Well, the science has to be right. You have to have favorable conditions, and that means that the grass has to be dry and the weather has to be warm so that when we do make this, when we do start the fire, it's actually going to get a good consumption. It's going to burn most of the grass.
Of course, and of course we have these high visibility fires like this. You were telling me you only have about 1 to 2 a year, but there are crews working so hard year round in the winter time to create these prescribed burns and make sure there's not a lot of dry brush. So what is the importance of this?
The importance of this is we are preparing for wildfires. We continually ask that the residents throughout our communities prepare for wildfires by cleaning up around their properties. This is how we prepare for wildfires and make sure our communities are safe. We use various methods, and this is just one of those, and that's a prescribed burn. We've had good success in the years past doing this along 223, and so we're going to do it again this year.
Definitely, and you mentioned defensible space that people can actually do in their own homes to make sure that the surrounding area of their property is safe. Can you explain that a little bit more to me?
Yeah, absolutely. So creating that defensible space is actually a requirement, and that deadline to create that space is June 1st. And what we're looking for is more or less the area directly around every home. It's about 100 feet, making sure that there's no dry grasses, making sure the leaves, dry leaves and pine needles are removed from the roof of the home. There's no dead trees around, removing firewood piles from away from the house. There's all kinds of things that homeowners can be doing to prepare their properties, and for a very clear description of these, they can go to kerncountyfire.org.
Wonderful. So the crews and the people that live in the homes working together to keep things safe. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your time. And of course, that's not the only thing that, as Andrew mentioned, that is helping with fighting these fires ahead of schedule. They have a bunch of new equipment as well, new fire engines. We'll get more into that in our 6 p.m. news hour, so definitely stick with us. Live in Kern, Kristen Barton, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
And as many of you know, our state is already a hot box, ready to explode for wildfire season. This is all mainly due to our ongoing drought, and we took an in-depth look at the U.S. Drought Monitor and have a breakdown of where we currently stand compared to earlier in the year. As we mentioned, the Drought Monitor shows most of the state, including Kern County, is considered D3 or extreme drought. According to the monitor, currently about 40.5% of the state is in that extreme drought status. That's down from a year ago, where 52.8% of the state was at that extreme level. But the drought is still a cause for concern, with the dry conditions providing a large amount of fuel for fires, which is why the prescribed burn is happening today to help eliminate some of the dry brush and prevent future fires.